Hey guys, welcome back to CornerSports. I'm Albert Azenwer. If you haven't yet, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned and see all of my content that I put out. But without further ado, let's get into the good, bad, and ugly of the weekend. This week I'm going to do something special. I'm going to combine the two goods, Spurs and Arsenal. Both teams that sort of proved me wrong over the weekend, especially Spurs. And I feel like I owe a bit of an apology to Spurs fans who watch me because I totally predicted you guys to get dominated by Liverpool, and it was quite the opposite. Although I must admit, I did get the scoreline right. It was 4-1. Spurs looked dominant this week, and they needed to. They beat Liverpool 4-1, and Liverpool just looked atrocious in the back, as they've done this entire season. That defense does not look right, but let's not take away anything from the way Spurs played. When they got into space, they took their chances. Harry Kane once again looked fantastic. Ming-Hyu Son, I don't know, I'm saying his name wrong. I'm just going to say Son, played amazing. The entire team just looked great. And in the second half, once they got up to 4-1, they didn't need to play the same game, and they sort of allowed Liverpool back into the game and allowed them to press and create some chances. But at that point, the spirit of Liverpool was dead because Spurs had killed it, quite literally. Dejan Lovren had a fucking nightmare of a game. He got subbed off 30 minutes into the game, but it doesn't excuse any of it because the entire team played like shit, and partly because Spurs were that good. They are a really good team, and I had a lot of Spurs fans talking so much shit to me on Reddit because I thought that Liverpool were going to win this game. And rightfully so. If somebody were just talking shit about my team, I'd be fairly pissed off as well. But hey, Spurs fans, look on the bright side. At least I got the scoreline right? I said 4-1. I said 4-1. You have to give me props. You weren't predicting 4-1. I damn sure know none of you were predicting 4-1. So give me some props for getting the scoreline right, although for the wrong team. And yes, I do want to apologize to you. I should not have disrespected your team like that. But sometimes in football, you have a feeling that one team may win and another one does. That's how it works. Let's get into Arsenal. They travel down to Goodison Park, Merseyside, and take on Everton. And at this point, Ronald Koeman still has a job, but I've been calling for him to get the sack because the performances have been absolutely atrocious. Although I did mention in my preview of the weekend that they had played really well against Lyon, and they were sort of in the game up until the red card. You know, obviously Wayne Rooney bagged a goal in like he loves to against Arsenal for some strange reason. But man, we finally got to see Ozil, Lacazette, and Sanchez play together, and boy was it a beautiful sight. That front three can trouble teams. If they can just stay together for one season, if they can play together consistently, they can do bits in this league, because when you got a player like Sanchez who can bomb it down the wing and create all sorts of problems, and you've got Ozil sitting in that number 10 role and he can create to anyone at any point, and you've got a great finisher in Lacazette, you're bound to cause problems. And if they can find a way to not let Ozil leave in January, or to not let Sanchez leave in the summer or in January, if they can re-sign these guys, bring in a couple of more pieces, because that midfield still needs help. Xhaka, El Nini, Coquelin, whatever, those are not the answer. You need to bring in a Seri. You need to bring in a Naby Keita, although he's already going to Liverpool. You need to bring in a player who is going to take command of this midfield like Patrick Vieira would and just fucking do the job for you. You don't have anyone like that. And I'm looking at you, Wenger, because throughout your career you've constantly had that player, and it seems like in the last 6-7 years after you lost Cesc Fabregas, it's just been gone. You need to figure it the fuck out. You need to bring that player in, because this is a team that can do really well. You need to bring in another defender and you're pretty much set to win the title. But I mean, it's like we're damn near in November and we're saying the same thing that we've always said about Arsenal. 5-2 win, first win away this season so far. And look, this team, it's a great team, but will they finish top 4? We'll just have to wait and see. Who are they going to kick out? Chelsea, Spurs, United, City? I don't know. And I'm discounting Liverpool for now. That team is just looking like it's in a lot of problems. That was a lot. I talked a lot about those two teams, but the next team I want to talk about, and the team that had an absolute shocker this week, something I never saw coming, was Manchester United getting absolutely bamboozled by Huddersfield. First time Huddersfield has beat Manchester United in damn near 65 years or something like that. The last time Huddersfield beat Manchester United at home, Winston Churchill was still the Prime Minister. That's insane. Look, Man U, you capitulated. You had a mental lapse, and it was embarrassing. And if you watched Mourinho's interviews post-match, the first half was just poor. It was poor. It was poor by this team. They did not look like they were in it. No, where has Lukaku gone? Lukaku has not done anything in the last couple of games. And is it because Pogba's out? Is it the injuries? Is that what's causing these issues? Is it the fatigue from midweek? Because, everyone's playing midweek. Look at City. They played a tough game midweek. Look at Chelsea. Everybody's playing midweek, but they're able to pick up wins. So you need to come back and reorganize, and hopefully you'll have Pogba back. And Lindelof, my God, boy, does he need more time in this league. He needs more time because he's making mistakes. And Herrera just does not look the part. Overall, you've had a bad, but I'm sure you'll bounce back. I have so much trust in Mourinho. It's beyond understanding. I believe that he is, if not the greatest, then maybe top 3 managers right now in the world without denying it. So I know he'll come back. That team just looked poor this week. Get it together. I can't say I didn't call it. Valencia is a tough team to play, especially in Valencia. And Sevilla, who, oh my God, since the international break has looked disgusting. I mean, you've conceded 9 goals in your last 2 games. You hadn't conceded 9 goals all damn season. What is going on? I don't know what happened, but after the international break, this team went completely... This was a fairly even game, although I do have to admit that Sevilla did not take their chances whatsoever, and Valencia, when presented with the opportunity, were able to smash it, and I called it. Zaza got on the score sheet. He's looking like a rejuvenated striker. Villa, you've had yourself an ugly 2 weeks or 1 week. You've lost to Bilbao, you lost to Moscow, Spartak Moscow, and now you've dropped another 4 goals to Valencia. You need to sort it out. You have a game on Tuesday against a low league team. You need to batter them. You need to destroy them, build that confidence back up, because if you continue going like this, sitting in 8th place right now in the league, you're not even going to sniff Champions League next season. I'm going to skip the next good of the week and get straight into the bad, and the bad is Chicago Fire. Oh, Fire. There's a great understanding between MLS fans and MLS supporters and just people who cover MLS in general is that if you want to do great in the MLS playoffs, you need to go into the playoffs with some sort of a momentum. You need to go into with a streak. Like many teams in the past who've gone into the MLS playoffs with a streak, they win the entire thing. And I had so much hope for this Chicago Fire team, and you go out to Houston and you lose 3-0, and it's like you barely showed fight, and you got scored on in the first 2 minutes, and it seemed like after that the game was over. And Dynamo, who have played very, very well this season, I mean, compared to their last season, this has been Jesus has arrived in town. But nonetheless, you just don't play like that on your last day. Your first game and your last game of the season dictates, especially in the MLS, how your season is going to go with the first win and how your playoffs are going to go. And right now, it just seems like Fire are a sure team to get bounced right away. You've had yourself a bad, and I'm hoping you do really well in the playoffs, but I just now don't see it. Be on the lookout for my playoffs video. That should be coming sometime midweek. And with that being said, let's get into the next ugly, which is Feyenoord. And oh my God, how the mighty have fallen. You are the champions of Netherlands, the champions of Holland last season. And in your last 9 games, you lost 6. You've drawn 1, and you've only picked up 2 wins in 9 games. You losing to your biggest rival, one of the biggest derbies in the world. You lose 4-1 at home. It's embarrassing. I don't know what is going on with this team, but it sure as hell does not look like the Feyenoord of last season. You've just not only had an ugly week, you've had an ugly month. Sort it out, Feyenoord. I feel sorry for you and your fans. Good luck next week. And going back into what is good around the world of football, this past week, and that is the old lady Juventus. You have a somewhat lackluster performance midweek against Sporting, and here I am thinking, look, you just lost to Lazio, you haven't really played that well against Sporting, and you're playing against Udinese, who's not really that good of a team, but it's an away game. If you're playing at home, that is a chance to win. Doesn't matter what happens. And you come out, you score first, and now I'm like, damn, Juve, really? You're gonna concede in the first 10 minutes like that? But, you know, you sort of cycle it back, bam, bam, you get 2 goals in the span of like 5 minutes, and I'm like, okay, back in control. And then Mandzukic says, 1, 2, 3, red card. 3 seconds! This man got a yellow and then got another yellow and was sent off in 3 seconds. I thought that was hilarious, and at this point, I'm thinking, ooh, this is not looking pretty. I know Juventus has, this team is as organized as any other team in the world, and I'm like, if they can just keep this 2-1 lead, ride it out, get into the half, make a substitution, and just lock it down, I know Udinese is not going to be able to score on you. Well, boy, was I wrong. They come out of halftime, and then Udinese, immediately, first 2 minutes, they score a goal, and I'm like, this is going to get out of hand, because you're down to 10 men, you just conceded, it's managers and coaches always say you don't want to concede going into the halftime, and you do not want to concede coming out of halftime. And you're conceding out of halftime, and I'm like, dude, this is about to get ugly. But was I wrong? Lord and Savior Khedira steps up, scores his first professional hat trick, and you just, after that goal, Juventus said, it ain't happening to me today. And they just bam, 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 and then, that was the end of the story. It just ended. And so you end up picking up a 6-2 win, which looks fantastic considering that Napoli dropped points and Inter dropped points, and you're back up in the race again, and Roma's picked up a win, and Lazio's picked up a win. It's just, this league is going to look so good this season. I am so excited for Serie A to finally be back. I was the biggest fan of Serie A when I was a kid, and now that it's finally back after all of the crap that has happened, ooh, I'm so happy to see the competition in this league back again, and I'm just looking forward to next week. AC Milan Juve, it's going to be a good one. You might have not expected me to talk about this team, but I have to. Thessaloniki from Greek, who took on Olympiacos this week and sit on top of the league, and I want somebody else to win that Greek league. Just for political reasons, and also for football reasons. This league has been corrupted with paying off officials and just match fixing and all of this, and it would be great to see another team aside from Olympiacos pick up the title this week. And Thessaloniki looks like the team that might do it, but they traveled to Olympiacos and they just could not pick up a win. They lose 1-0, and they've had themselves a bad this week, but you just need to you need to take advantage of Olympiacos' poor start to the season. Please, Tessa, please, I'm begging you, because I just don't want to see the same team win the league year after year after year. It just demotivates other teams, it drives competition out of the country, and it allows for one team to completely monopolize the league, and I hate seeing that, especially because I'm quite a fan of Greek football. I know it's a weird thing to say, but I am, because they play good football domestically. And so, look, Tessa, please turn it around and please do well, because I want you to, and I'm a big fan. And I have a buddy who lives in Thessaloniki. Shout out to Drew. Do well, Tessa, and I want you to pick up the title at the end of the league. Please. I feel like I've talked about this team so many times on The Ugly that, they're just going to be the honorary member of Good, Bad, and Ugly in the ugly department until they start doing well, and that's Nice. Oh man, it's just disgusting when you lose to bottom feeders of any league and you're supposed to be a good team. It's just nasty. You played like shit. You are shit. You've been shit. You've been shit. Look, I'm gonna call Nice what it is. Nice is not Nice. They are bad. They are not. They are ints. Is that? I don't think that's the reverse of nice, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Nice, you're trash. And I just wanted to say it. That's it. Once again, thank you guys so much for coming back to Corner Sports. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Let's start a discussion. Did your team do well this week? What games did you pay attention to, and how did they turn out? Let me know in the comments below. Let's start a discussion. I'd love to talk to you about the games of the weekend. Be on the lookout, because I'm going to post some good videos midweek on MLS, and I've got a UFC video coming up. Pow, pow, pow. We'll see what happens there, and, see you next time.